What use case, hein?
Oui, c'est ça, real world use cases, oui.
Ah, d'accord, donc c'est bon. Voilà ce qu'on peut commencer là. On peut commencer maintenant, je pense. So good morning or good evening, everyone. Welcome to our event on Azure AI, Generative AI, Copilot, Azure OpenAI, and also MLOps. Real world use case. Today, we'll explore how AI is transforming data and analytics, cloud and Kubernetes operations, and modern business intelligence with Power BI. We have three great sessions lined up today, delivered by experienced speakers from different areas of the Azure ecosystem. Here today's agenda, from data to actions, leveraging Azure AI and Fabric with Dynamic 355 by Rodrigo Yango. And after that, operating AKS with AI agent, Azure AI Foundry and AKS MCP server, plus K-agent by Gorelay. And finally, enriching Power BI with Azure AI services by Semet Ben Salem. We'll also have time to questions and discussions throughout the event. So let's get started. Our first session focuses on how you can transform data into actionable insights using Azure AI, Fabric, and Dynamic 355. Please welcome Rodrigo Yango presenting the first session. So Rodrigo, you can start with your session.
Okay, thank you. Thank you a lot for this presentation. I will start by sharing my screen. Just let me know if it's okay for you guys. What? He asked me to connect, even if I... Okay. Do you hear me?
But not for now. You can't see your screen.
Okay, so thank you. So I'm in Paris, so I will say good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you for joining this session. I'm really blessed to be here today as part of Azure AI Community Hub online edition, of course. I would like to start by thanking the organizer for this great initiative and for creating a space where the community can share practical experience around Azure AI, Microsoft technology, and real-time business. Just a reminder, these community-driven events are extremely valuable because they help us to move beyond theory and explore how innovation can be applied concretely in our organization. Today, I'm happy to be with you for a short and focused 13-minute session. The topic is from data to action, leveraging Azure AI and Microsoft Fabric, of course, with Dynamic 365. The idea behind this session is very simple. Most organizations already have a lot of business data, especially in CRM, maybe in an ERP system, such as Dynamic 365 Finance or Dynamic 365 Sales. But having data is not enough. The real challenge is to transform that data into useful insights. Can you guys close your mic because I have an echo in my side? Yes, thank you. So the real challenge is to transform that data into useful insights and then into concrete action for business users. That's why I taken this title. During this session, we will first set the context and explain the architecture pattern connecting Dynamic 365 cells and the Dataverse, which is the database of all the Dynamic 365 solutions, Microsoft Fabric and Azure AI. Then, after this short introduction, we will show a small practical demo based on a Dynamic 365 cell trial environment. I take the trial environment so everyone can do the same demo in its side if you want to go beyond this presentation. We will use the sample data provided by the demo environment. The goal is to make the scenario easy to understand and easy to reproduce afterwards. In this demo, we will see how cell data can be used to identify business channels, enrich them with AI, and support better decisions. We will try to go straight to the program. Yeah, before we go further, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Rodrigo, and I'm a founder of Arca 365. I work as an enterprise architect and Microsoft expert focusing on Dynamic 365, of course, for platform, Microsoft Fabric, Azure, and AI for business solutions. For more than 30 years, I have been helping organizations design and implementing cloud solutions that connect business, application, data platform, automation, and AI. And I'm also a Microsoft MVP and Microsoft certified trainer. I used to, how can I say, to have some lot of community events. One of them is Arca Friday with my friend Semi. He will also present a session in this event. So today, I will use the perspective to show how we can connect Dynamic 365, Microsoft Fabric, and Azure AI to move data to actionable recommendation, as I said previously. Don't worry, we will have only demo, just to put the picture in kind of overview. Why data to action matter in sale? As I say, we have data, but data is nothing because data is useful if based on this data we can have information, and based on this information we can have knowledge, and based on this knowledge we can take action, so we can decide. That's, in my perspective, the first goal of data. So how we can use data from Dataverse database to actionable in Dynamic 365 cells. When I say Dynamic 365 cells, it's the CRM of Microsoft 365 constellation. Just to show you how it looks like, we'll go to the platform. Now you can see we are Dynamic 365. Sorry, it's in French. Yeah, we have a lot of applications. We will use the cell hub that calls Centre de Vente in French. For those who will want to do the same demo, what they can do is to activate the trial versions, Dynamics 365. Oh, sorry. Dynamics, yeah, cells. And go take this one. And now you can try it for free, of course. One thing is very important. There are some prerequisites. The first one, you should have a tenant. So you will need to use your tenant login or your tenant email, of course. You will not have to use your professional email, because if you use your professional email, you can be a mess, because the Dynamic 365 trial will be company tenant. It's not a good idea. What I always, I can say, advice is to have your own tenant. After that, you can go to create your trial version, and this is how it works. You just have to go in this page and to install it. After install it, you will have something like that. You have many applications. The application we will use in this demo is this one, central application, so the sales hub. As you can see, we have many areas in this stage. We have sales, and we have parameters. We have a lot of things. We have also a lot of entity, and we have a business process flow that can help sales teams to go step by step in their business closing. I can say, in many steps. This is the user interface, but beyond the user interface, we have a dataverse. We can see the dataverse when we go to make Power Apps. We need to select the right environment. Why we need to select the right environment? Because any solutions that is installed in that is represent a Dynamic 365 is packaged in a solution, and the solution I deploy in what we call environment. So you need to select the environment where you have install your Dynamic 365 instance. To see that in the administration center of Power Platform, if you go to in Manage, you have a lot of environments, of course. In our case, because we have installed a free trial, we can find it in this area. If I click in it, we have a lot of settings. And just one second, sorry, it's a demo one, sometimes take more time. We have many parameters. One thing, it's very important, it's a business solution, so the security and all the permissions matter, so we will need to activate some user. To use the solution, we have to follow 3 conditions. The first one, we need to have an Entra ID active account. And the second one, we need to have a Dynamic 365 license. And the third one, we need to have a role in Dynamic 365. For instance, if I come in this place, I select a user. Maybe it will be me. Just one second. Yes. As you can see, I have one organization. You need to consider organization like our company. We can have a kind of a hierarchy in this organization, but the most important is the role that should be used. Just one second. Yeah, we have a system administration role. I have this role because I'm the one who installed the instance. But if I want to add some of my friends, I can give it another role, of course. Yeah, this is all the condition we need to follow to install Dynamic 365 and also to start using it. An Entra ID account, active account, a license, and a role in Dynamic 365. That say, we can go to the next slide. Just one second. So we have Dataverse. What is Dataverse? Dataverse, it's a database. We will also have a Fabric and Azure AI. If we go to Dataverse, we can see Dataverse in this area. We have in the right solutions, environments. So if we go in table, no, sorry, in solutions, yeah, this is the one we have installed. No, not this one, just one. Just one second. I just want to show you all the table we have in our instance. Yes. Sorry, just one second. Yeah, table. you can see we have a lot of tables. We can try to show all the tables we have. One of the most used table, it's I can say it's account, for instance. An account, it's a company. Oh, sorry. I think it's a mistake. I will use the contact. It's more simple to find. Yeah, as we can see, just for contact, we have a lot of tables. But if we take this one, we will have a name, the first name, the metadata we need to manage any kind of entity called contact. We can edit it to see all this column. So this is just to show you in Dynamic 365 solution, we have the user interface, we have also a data table when we can find a lot of data. Yeah, and we have also Microsoft Fabric. It's the same. We can also have a trial version of Microsoft Fabric. If we go, as you can say, try, no, we'll go to Fabric trial. When we use a trial of Fabric, that means we will have a kind of resources called a capacity. We will have a free capacity which can be used to help us to manage our Fabric instances. So it's totally free. Just pay attention when we install in our Dynamic 365 trial version, we need to specify the country or the regions. And when we also install Microsoft Fabric and Dynamic 365, we have to select also the country. For what we want to do, it's necessary to have the same country in both sides. It's something that's very important. So we have also Azure AI. Azure AI, it's a lot of feature capacity related to AI in Azure for Microsoft side. So the first thing we need to do is to reference our architecture. We have Dynamic 365, we have a Dataverse, we have a Microsoft Fabric, we have also Azure AI, we have also Power Platform. Power Platform, it's a platform which, I can say, in which our solution are installed, in which our instance is installed. Power Platform not only, I can say, contain our Dynamic 365 solution, we have also some feature or capacity like, I can say, Power Automate and Power Automate and also Microsoft Copilot. We have a lot of resources in Power Automate, but in our case, we will only focus on Dynamic 365. And if we go back in our instance, just to show you, now we have in Power Platform. If we go at the beginning, we have a lot of environment. We can create a new one. In each environment, we can also define some settings, as we already say. We have encryption, we have data management, we have integration, we have audit, we have business, some business, I can say, settings that is required to manage a business. And we have also some parameters that are very important. As you can see, generative AI feature, we can allow the generative AI feature in our environment, so it will be applied in all of the solution of this environment. That means if you want to activate the Copilot or any AI feature in Dynamic 365, we need first to activate this feature in this side. Something it's very important. We have many levels that can help us to activate this feature. The first one is the global organization. We can call a tenant. We need to activate this feature in a tenant side. And the second one, in our case, will be the Power Platform. And the first one will be the specific environment where we are answering our resources. And the last one, it's our application, because if we go in our Dynamic 365 in Sail, for instance, we have some parameters. As you can see, we have, for instance, Copilot here. And Copilot, it's the name that's globally used in Microsoft solution for AI, for generative AI, if I can say. So we can activate some feature here. So we have many steps when we can activate some AI feature. And this feature can also be activated only for certain user. It can be a specific group, or it can be activated directly for a specific user. Yeah. So now what we have seen are our architecture. We can just say for Azure AI Ads Intelligence, for example, summarizing account, summarizing account risk, for instance, classifying opportunity, extracting insight from notes, and generating next best recommendation. You can ask me how we can do that. I think we all know that AI is nothing without data. AI need to be I can say AI will always leverage on data to produce something or to make some action. If we talk about the agent, for instance, so in this situation, he will how we say it in English? In French, we say he will make a kind of a grounding in our database. Our database is Dataverse, because in Dataverse we have a lot of information about our customer, about the interaction we have with the customer in the past, today, maybe the perspective we have with all this customer. So we have a good context, and if we consider that we have a good data quality, we are ensured to have a good actionable, I can say, made by actionable feature that can be leveraged on AI, because we have all the data we need to build the context for our branding perspective. That's why it's very important. And the important point is that AI is not floating outside the system. It is what I can say. I can say it's a part of control architecture connected to govern and data and business workflow. When I say govern, it's mean, for instance, in Dynamic 365 or Dataverse, we have some role, we have some defined permission. You can only access data if you have the role of the permission that let you access to this data. And when you will use AI or any kind of AI, for instance, Copilot for Sail, the Copilot will only access to the data you already have the permission to access, even if it will not be possible for the Copilot to access the data. That's why it's very governed. Now we need to understand what data we can use in a simple and repeatable scenario, like what we want to show today. We have access data. We can access Dynamic 365. We already do that. We can load data, but where should we load data if we want to access this data? We have two options. The first one is to access data directly in Dataverse. It's something that already exists, if I can say, because in this example, I say we can go to parameter, and in parameter we can show, for instance, that we can access to the opportunity. And if we go in our list of table, we can find, if we just go back, we can find the opportunity table. Where is my table? Where is my table? Yeah. Sorry, it takes some time to be opportunity. yeah, we have our opportunity table. And in this opportunity, we have always column. So we have many metadata that can be used for running of our Copilot in sales. So let's go back. We have talked about governance. Now we can also select for each entities or table what field or attribute we want to use in our branding step for our AI. So we can say no, we don't want to let Copilot access the solution we have proposed to our customer. We don't want our Copilot to access to the description we have made for this entity because maybe we have some critical information and we don't want let him access this component. So we can do all these things. So if we go back, we have access dynamic in 65. We can load data. We can access data in Dataverse directly, but we can also take this data to put this data in Fabric. Why it's important? Because as you know, Fabric, it's a data platform. If we say Fabric, it's a data platform, that means we have a lot of capacity, we have a lot of feature what we cannot find in CRM or in Dataverse, because Dataverse is a database, and a database cannot do all the stuff a data platform can do. That's why, if it's possible, we can take this data to put this data in Power Platform in Fabric. How we can do that? Very simple. We will see that. Now we have in our Fabric. I just show you, if you want to access a Fabric, just go to try Fabric. It will ask you to use your professional email, and it will install a capacity in your Fabric. So you can use this trial capacity to test all the feature. That's why I have prepared before this session. You can also, as you can see, because I have activated, I have 2 months to try all the feature I want. But because I have a capacity, what I can do is to go to create my first workspace. I will say workspace 1. As you can say, take this Power BI Pro, because we have many options to use Fabric. We can use a licensing system using, for instance, a Power BI Pro license or premium. We can also use a capacity, and the capacity it what I want to use. I can say I don't see it, but yeah. Oh, what? Just 1 second. Yeah. If we cannot see that, one thing we can do is to go to admin portal trial. As you can see, it's enabled. Either you can try Microsoft okay, specific okay, seems to be great. Yeah. Another thing, if you have a capacity, you can use your, how can I say, your personal workspace. It's work also, but in our case, we will create a workspace that can be shared in Teams. We use Power BI in Pro. Why not? Okay. And in this Power BI workspace, sorry. Yeah. Now we have our workspace. What we can add in our workspace? We can add what we can call a lakehouse. A lakehouse, it's a kind of database that can be contain structure and structured data. Please try. Sorry. Oh. The clickers in supporting this workspace to create and install Microsoft Fabric trial, although there are no trial available. Okay. Power BI trial. Okay. I will go to Fabric. Start. Okay. Upgrade. No, I don't want it. This 1 second. Now I will start a Fabric trial because the Power BI Pro licensing is not enough. I will take it in set it in French because my Dynamic 365 instance is also in French. Now I can activate it. I think it should be fine. After that, I need to go to the workspace and to change the capacity used. It will not be the license, but I will take the capacity. Now I can change it. I can, if it's already done, maybe I need to wait a few seconds to see it appears. Yes. We refresh again. Or the most simple is to create a new one. Sorry, we need to wait a few moments before to see it, but we will find it at this stage and we will be able to activate it. So this stage we will wait a few moments. What I just want to talk to show you at this stage, it will take the data we have in Dataverse and to load this data in a special kind of database, which is a lakehouse, that can be I can say what can be structured and unstructured data. When I say structured data, it's kind of the table we have in a database, but you can also have unstructured data like a document such as PDF and this kind of stuff. After that, we can navigate to our sales pipeline, what we call a sales pipeline, just to show you. We'll go to sell. Yeah, this is all the pipeline I have. I can open one and you will see maybe not. I will open it. In this pipeline, we have a lot of information that related to our customer, our opportunity, and what we want to do is to ask Copilot to give us some insight about this information. You can see because I just opened this opportunity, we have Copilot for sale that generates a kind of summary in this page. And the summary leverage on the data we have on the field we have activate when we were to the settings of the application. So we have a kind of summary. This one, it's very important because the user can have a kind of overview of this contact or this account or maybe for this opportunity. And it's very valuable when you have, for instance, a meeting with a client and you need to have an overview of the data of information they have in the company regarding this customer, for instance. So, because I don't think we'll have time to see all the things I want to show you. Yeah. So Microsoft Fabric has the analytic layer. We will say Dynamic 365 is kind of a data layer, but Fabric will be the analytic layer. So we have Dataverse to Fabric. using a CRM data link. After that, we will analyze all the data of Dynamic 365 in Fabric, of course. We can make some combination. By combination, I mean we can consolidate data coming from many sources. The first one, of course, is Dataverse, but we can also add any other data sources. We have many ways to do that. We can do it directly using, I can say, kind of a connector. We have a lot of connector, and we can also use some no protocol, such as, I don't know, ODBC, GDBC, this kind of stuff. And after that, we can use the consolidated data to make our data set or semantic models, and of course, to have our reports. And you know, in Fabric, we can have some feature that can be activated in report side. And of course, we have also a workload separation because we can have an analytical and operational data. By operational data, it's kind of a technical one, if I can say. Analytical, it's more for business. It's maintain what we can call a separation of concern because these two type of data, of course. Yes. After that, we need to have a kind of, I can say, if we can summarize the demo in 5 steps, if I can say. The first one, we can summarize the context using the data we have. We can do that directly in Dynamic 365 CRM, but we can also do the same after exporting the data in Fabric by using lakehouse. We can also classify the data. We can classify the data by using, I can say, a request or generative AI in Dynamic 365, but we can also do that using all the feature or capability we have in Fabric. And we can, in our case, because we are talking about customer relationships and business matter, we can also detect some weakness about our customer regarding the opportunity we have with them. And we can also have a kind of recommendation concerning the action we have to take based on the data and the insight we have obtained through Fabric or inside of Dynamic 365, I mean the user interface. And of course, every time we have a kind of a recommendation that need to have a human validations. Yes. So because we are over session, I will say you thank you. Maybe you have any kind of question, but the demo will take a long time. It will not be possible to show all the demo in 30 minutes. Maybe it need to have a lot of sessions so we can explore all these features. This is what I can show you guys. So if you have a kind of question, I will be very happy to give you some answer. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you again, Rodrigo, for a great session. If you have some questions, you can make in the chat and we'll reply.
I will see it. In the private chat, okay.
In fact, I said you have no question in the chat, so we can let 2 minutes for attendees to make if they have any question. And after that, we'll move to the second session.
Okay. Just a reminder, you can also reach me out in LinkedIn if you want to be connected or if you want to send your question later. That's fun for me. It's okay. Thank you, Celine.
I think we can move to the next session as we have no question right now. And the session is recorded, so you can also continue asking your question or giving your feedback after the event. So thank you, Rodrigo, for your great session. So now we are going to move to the next session.
Okay. See you next. Thank you.
Yeah. So let me share my screen. Present screen is here. Okay. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, thank you. It's fine.
So our second session moves into the world of AKS and also AI operations. We'll explore how AI agent can help operate and automate AKS environment using Azure AI Foundry, MCP server, and Car agent. Here, I will give a session about operating AKS with AI agent using Azure AI Foundry, AKS MCP server, and Car agent. So I'm going to I'm MVP in Azure and also in AKS. Okay. So today I want to show you how AI agent can operate an AKS cluster for you. In fact, investigating problems, finding root causes, and even fixing broken applications. But first, let me describe the problem. Platform teams have to master Azure, AKS, networking, and also monitoring, and all behavior all the same time, and usually during high pressure incident. That is the core challenge. When something breaks on your AKS today, an engineer has to open a terminal and then run AKS command, read through logs, and also do in fact a lot of things manually. And this takes times, sometimes several times or hours, and it requires deep expertise. So right now, most outages are not caused by missing tools. They come from overwhelming complexity and also too many signals, but it is not really. In fact, it's not really fast, and it takes a lot of time to recover an incident. Even, in fact, a simple question like why this port is crashing or which deployment are missing require knowing that command. And the goal of this session is right now to interact with AKS using language, using the natural language, but not command. So let me go to the demo. So here I have here my business files that I use to deploy my environment. Here I have here the infrastructure. In fact, here I have the bicep code. Here I have here my AI service with the model. I have here also the another model, and in fact here I have everything I need to deploy my infrastructure. Here is I have here my AKS cluster, and that's it. And but now to deploy the code, I have only to deploy these bicep files. it will deploy everything to my Azure environment that you can see here. For example, I have here my Azure environment in which I have I have here all my resources. Here is a task cursor. Here is my my AI Foundry object, and I can go inside. And here I have also in fact I have only a task cursor and also another Foundry project. And then to deploy everything, I have here a Nakas. I have here. In fact, it is in manifest. I have in my Akas agent. I have to deploy an agent in my cluster, and then the agent will talk with the MCP server. And so I now be able to talk with my cluster using language and AI and not using tools. I have here my Helm chart that I use to deploy everything. In fact, here I have my chart. The deploy is in my agent chart, and here I have a sample app that I use to test my workload. Now to deploy the Helm chart, I have here some commands that I have here. For example, it is deploy agent. I use here some command lines in PowerShell to deploy everything I need to have my workload in Azure. After that, I have to deploy here my application. Here it is here the app. The app is in fact an app that is broken, and I will ask the agent to make it fix and make it up and running again. In fact, here is as a diagram. In fact, here I have here it is here. In fact, what is deployed? I have my Akas cursor with a agent controller, agent UI, and I have also a Akas MCP server deployed in my Akas cursor. And here I have here two applications that I use to test how agent will do to make it up and running again. So now when I run all this command and go to the Azure portal, I have here, for example, here in my Akas cursor, I have here all my workloads. They are here. All namespaces, for example, here is in my agent namespace. I will check here that I have here my here my Akas agent is here. I have an Akas MCP server, and I have also a lot of things deployed inside my Akas cluster. So now to test it, I'll go here to services, and then go to my here to in my namespace, and I have here a services Akas MCP server. I have to grab this and go to VS Code. Here, for example, here I look at here namespace.djon file. I ask here my Akas MCP. It is the name of the MCP server, and here I put here the URI of my MCP server, for example, like this. And then I have to start it. So my MCP server is now start and running. So now I can now interact with my MCP server using language and AI instead of using command. For example, I can ask it to show me how many nodes are in my cluster and what is the CPU and memory usage. First of all, I ask it to use the tools, to list the available tools. For example, I can say use Akas MCP on this available tools. So GitHub Copilot will use the MCP server to check it. For example, it means that I have all these tools that are available in my MCP server, and when I ask a question, the MCP server will use these tools to reply. I have here 70 tools. I have it is here 70 tools. Set. So now when I ask a question, for example, how many nodes are running in my cluster, like this, so it will talk with the MCP server and will give me the answer. It seems that I have here 3 nodes in my 6 nodes, 3 nodes in system pool and 3 user pool. And that are here with the CPU in memory and everything. I can go ahead and ask a second question, for example, like this. Show me all ports that are not running and tell me which node pool they are on. For example, like this. So, in fact, before AI, we have to understand and master commands, and also with deep expertise to be able to have this information. But now, using MCP server and Copilot, I can have all these informations using only language and AI. It's the same is that this port is broken. And when I go here in my Azure portal, I can see it. For example, in demo, if you access the demo space, I can see that here the port is broken. And finally, I'll ask a last question: which deployment are in agent namespace and are missing CPU or memory limits? So as you can see, it will ask the MCP server using the tools and to display the information. He says yes. So now it lists all the deployments with their CPU limit and their memory limits. And also now I move to my next demo. The next demo is that I have here a broken app, and I'm asking I'll ask the agent to repair it and make it working again. Here is my app. Next page demo, for example, here my app is not running. Is off because the port is here not running. So now, to do this, I use car agent. It is here a car agent. In fact, when I go here to in my namespace car agent, I will see that here I have here a car agent. So car agent running here. And to use it, I have here the service. It is a private cluster, private IP. So I have to forward it to my local PC to be able to run it. In my local PC, I have only to forward my port here 8080 on my port 8080 on my local machine. It is also possible to export it using a load balancer, but for this demo, we keep it simple and use it locally. So here in my local PC, when I hit local host 8080, I have here my car agent interface UI. So I have here a lot of agents that are built in the car agent UI, like Cilium agent, like Helm agent, like car gateway agent, and like a car with S agent, and a lot of others. Here is my custom agent. It is not a agent. It is my custom agent that I deploy here using my code. When I go here in my code, I have here my agent that is deployed here, a manifest agent. This here, so I deploy it here in my UI. Now I will ask it to repair, to fix, and the crashing up is that I have here. Now I have to keep the IP address, and then here in my so here I will ask it that the application is running on IP address here is broken, and I will ask it to fix it and make it up and running again. So it is here. For example, I check this. Okay, I check this, and I go to here to my interface, and I ask it the question and send. So it tell me that let it finish and then give a look at the result. You say me that the deployment is in instance demo has the following relevant data, and it here all the data of my deployments, and it says that the container exposes on port 80, but health probe target port 8080. This explains the probe failure and port crash loop. In fact, it describes the problem, and he will ask me if I want to fix it or not. Now I will ask it to fix it. Go ahead and fix it. So now car agent will in fact deploy a new port and fix my application, and it will back up and running again. Now when I come here in my cluster and check my deployment in demo, here deployment, here upload, I see that my application is now up and running, fixed by car agent. And when I refresh, so my app now is up and running again. So here I have a demo that that shows how it is possible to investigate and debug applications running on AKS using AI. So here everyone can use it. Everyone, even if it has no knowledge in AKS, it's able for it to debug and make an application up and running again. So do you have any question about this? So if I have no question, I will ask the set speaker to present her session. So thank you everyone. If you have a further question, you can ask in the chat or in my LinkedIn or in my LinkedIn page. The session is also recorded and will be available, so you can check it again or share it in your network. Thank you everyone for attending the session. So I pass I will ask you to send my Ben Salem to go ahead.
Thank you for your sessions. Before to let Seme talk, I will want to say a few words about Seme. So I'm pleased to introduce Seme. I call him the great Seme because it's a nice guy with whom I co-host Arca Friday. If we have Arca Friday, it's because of Seme, because it's ID at the first time, if I can say. Together, we have this initiative as a space of discussion like this, insight, sharing, and reflection on architecture, usage, and key topics shaping our practice. So SEME brings a complementary perspective, combining structure, engagement, and a strong understanding of field realities, which is great enrich the Archie Friday dynamic. So I'm really pleased to welcome Dr. Seme. Welcome, Seme.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rodrigue, and thank you for all of you. So, and thank you very much for all those kind words. So, to be honest, so the work we are or the effort we are providing on Archie Fridays is mutual. So Rodrigue also brings his own knowledge, expertise, and also technical knowledge related to different subjects, all subjects related to the Azure cloud. And I'm really very happy to lead with him this part of the services that Archia 365 are presenting, are providing to the clients. And this is an honor for me also to join him in all the sessions. And for those who have already assisted in Archi Fridays, you see that we are always providing those sessions together, and we welcome all these submissions, especially for the second year of presenting these kind of topics. So thank you very much again, Rodrigue, for your support and for your help and commitment and involvement into those events. Thank you very much. And of course, I'm here thanks to Rodrigue. So he informed me about this session, and I'm very happy to join you and to join Gora for this session too. So thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so I will share the screen. Okay, can you see my screen, please?
Not yet, but it's coming. Yeah, it's okay.
Good. Great. So thank you very much for all of you, and good evening, everyone. And once again, thank you very much for joining this session and for being part of the audience. So first of all, I'm sorry because I'm presenting the session in English, in French, but I will try to translate. And also, I'm going to share the presentation and also the demo with you. And this is going to be in both languages, in French and also in English. So you can take part of it, or you can understand all the topics we are sharing in the presentation. So first of all, I would like to sincerely thank the organizers and in promoting knowledge sharing, innovation, and collaboration around Microsoft technologies, data, artificial intelligence, Azure topics. And we also should mention that community-driven events like this will play a very important and significant role in helping professionals and also learners discover practical use cases and also real-world implementations of modern technologies. For this presentation, I will start by presenting my profile. So my name is Semi Ben Salem, and I'm data and AI consultant. I'm also Microsoft certified trainer and speaker, and I'm specialized in business intelligence, Azure data platform, and artificial intelligence solutions. I also regularly lead technical sessions in community events as part of the Archi Fridays initiatives, alongside with Rodrigo, as we already discussed this point, where we really focus on sharing practical expertise around data, cloud, AI technologies, and different topics that a session related to creating intelligent dashboards with Power BI and Azure AI services. And the goal is mainly to explore how organizations can enhance traditional reporting platforms by integrating artificial intelligence capabilities into their Power BI dashboards. And of course, one of the biggest challenges that companies are facing today is not only collecting the data, but also they need to understand the content that we have within the data, especially for unstructured textual information, such as the customer feedback, the surveys, the support tickets, the emails that we get from the clients, and also from social media comments. So, with traditional dashboards, they are very effective for structured KPIs measures, but they often provide limited visibility into the meaning of the data, and also some key information, such as the sentiment behind textual data and the key topics, or the key information that we can extract. Uh, so for today's session, we have the agenda. So mainly we have 5 topics. We will start with an introduction and context. I will present the architecture that is suggested and proposed for the solution. We will go for the demonstration. We will have to discuss, or we will discuss some use cases and business value, and then we will move to conclusion in Q&A if you have any questions. So for the introduction, for the context, we have 4 main reasons to talk about integrating artificial intelligence into Power BI. The first one is the evolution of business intelligence solutions that are where we implement artificial intelligence capabilities, because BI has evolved considerably in the recent years, and now we are moving from static reports to AI powered predictive analytics. So, for example, where a traditional dashboard would show you last month's revenue, for example, with an AI augmented dashboard, you can now anticipate sales trends for the upcoming quarter, or automatically detect anomalies in billing data. This is just an example, but we have a lot of capabilities related to artificial intelligence, especially with unstructured data, including text, images, and many other type of input data. Uh, of course, we are collecting more and more data, and actually, nearly 80% of the enterprise data is unstructured. Information are today located not only in CSV or Excel files, or in structured or semi-structured format. They are also available in unstructured format, including emails, including customer reviews that you get from your website or from your social networks, support tickets, social media comments, feedbacks that you get from also from the clients, with different, let's say, manners and ways to collect the data. So, for example, you may have a hotel chain that receives thousands of reviews on different platforms like Booking or TripAdvisor every month. And without the use in implementing an effective AI solution, it is impossible to analyze the feedback at scale to identify recurring pain points, and what should be changed, or let's say, enhanced in the user experience. We also have some limitations with traditional dashboards, as we mentioned. They are mainly focused on visualizing numeric KPIs, and they miss, of course, all the richness that we have with textual data. And the solution is that we can integrate Power BI with Azure AI services for example, the Azure AI language, which is one of the examples that we present here in the session. But what is important to know and to keep in mind is that we have a lot of applications using different services, and Azure AI language is one of those services that we can use for different applications. For example, for sentiment analysis, for entity extraction, for language detection, that can be directly integrated into the data flow, and that you can get into your Power BI and you can use. For the architecture, so here I'm presenting the different layers of a possible architecture that we can implement for this use case. Of course, we always start with the data sources that you have on the left. So everything starts with collection. We gather the textual data from multiple channels. You can get the data from customer reviews, from emails, from support tickets, from social media comments, from surveys, forms, and even call transcripts that you get from your clients. And once you get the data, the next step will be to ingest and prepare the data. And in this case, of course, you can use Power Query to do this. We can have a lot of source connections that we can use to get the data from those different data sources. We also have integrated cleaning functionalities that we have and transformation functionalities that we have within Power Query, which makes it very very good for deploying these kind of solutions and for transforming and changing the shape of the data. And in terms of storage, you can store the data in the Azure Data Lake, giving us, of course, scalable and secure data reservoir where you can use and keep the data safe for, of course, additional use. Power Query is an ETL. So this is an extract, load, extract, transform, and load solution. You can also use other solutions to get the data, but for the demo today, we are going to use Power Query because it contains already the connector in the way how we can get the information from the service, the Azure AI language service. Third step is to use the AI analysis or to implement the AI analysis with the Azure AI services. And in our case, this is going to be the Azure AI language. A lot of functionalities that we have in different services: language detection, sentiment analysis, opinion mining, named entity recognition and extraction, text summarization too, and key topic detection. Of course, this kind of application is mainly dedicated to solutions where you have columns in your data that contains text, where you can apply this kind of approach and where you can implement and use the capabilities proposed by the Azure AI language. And the last step is to model and visualize the data in Power BI to create the report. Once the data is enriched with those services, you can create the semantic model, you can create the relationships and add the metrics, and then you can build the dashboard by adding sentiment KPIs, identifying also trends over time, and all kind of transformation, all kind of visualizations that you want to add to your report and dashboard. Last step, exploitation in action. So of course, the insights are put to practical use for sharing and collaboration through workspaces, for example, automatic alerts and trends that you can have on the Power BI service, identification of improvement areas, since you can analyze the sentiment, for example, and identify what are the topics that the topics that need any improvements. And also you can integrate this tool with or this data with other tools such as CRMs or Teams, where you can put those applications. To simplify the architecture, this is how we are going to proceed in the demo. Language, then we'll analyze the sentiment and we will create a dashboard. So the topic today dataset. So let me switch to the demo. So here I have my Power BI desktop. So I will use the Power BI desktop here to ingest the data and to get the data from the data sources. And the data source I'm going to use that contains those information related to feedbacks from the customers. You have the ID of the client, you have the country, you have the city, the product name, you have the channel. Where did you get that information? Where did you get that feedback? You also have the category, the date, the score provided by the user, and here you have the feedback. So in our case, this will be the column that that is important in our analysis, because we would like to derive sentiment from this column and get the appreciation of the users. So first, since we are going to use Azure AI services and the Azure AI language, we need to create the service in the cloud. So I'm going to switch to the cloud. I will create a new resource. I will call it the AI language as a service. This one, I will create up the service. Of course, you have here those default features. Let's say the minimum capability of the service, because it already incorporates applications for sentiment analysis, for key phrase extraction, to extract key phrases from the reviews. If you have a huge, let's say, text for the reviews, you can use it for pre-built question answering solutions, for conversational language understanding too, for NER or named entity recognition, for summarizing text, and for applications to analyze the text in the health field. You can also use custom solutions. So for example, custom question and answering, custom text classification, custom sentiment analysis. So for example, in our case, if you use the sentiment analysis, which is the default feature that you have within the service, you will get 3 types of sentiments, so 3 categories: positive, negative, and neutral. But if you want to define, let's say, your own categories, for example, if the client is angry, if the client is happy, if the client is not satisfied, or any other category that you want, so customized categories, you can use this feature. You can select it, and you will be able to train your own model for this kind of application. So let's continue to create the resource. So here I will have my subscription. I will create, let's say, a new service, a new resource group for the demo. I will keep the region. I will call it demo for Power BI, and for the chair, the pricing, I will select this one. So we will have 1000 calls per minute. So maybe we will face, so I can reduce the size of the data in order to avoid this kind of issues. So let's say we will keep only, before we ingest that into the Power Query, I will reduce the size of the data to avoid having issues with the tokens. Up, okay, good. So I will save this. And now I can create the service. So by reviewing the service and the features I have defined, I don't think that we will have any issues for this. Good, no problem. So let's create the service. And how this will work. So first, Power BI contains the data that I want to analyze. The idea is that we connect Power BI to that service that we are creating actually on the Azure cloud, and every sentence will be sent to the service, to the Azure AI language, will be analyzed using the AI models that we have in that service, and then we will get back the result into the Power Query. So that's why here all the steps related to the analysis will be executed in the Azure cloud. by using the custom service or the custom model or the pre-built model that we have in this service. Once again, if you want to have more capabilities or to define your own classes and categories, you can customize the service by creating your own model. Another thing that is really important in this service that we have on the cloud will be done through API. If you are using the API, we need to use the tokens and the endpoint. So we need to get the token and the endpoint from this service and add them somewhere where we will define the function that will call this service in the Power Query. But just to prepare this, I will show you the page. Sorry, okay, I need to go to the service. And here in the keys and endpoint, you have this information that will connect to the service, and we will use also the key for the authentication. I will go back to my Power BI desktop. I will connect to the data using the So here we have the connection to the data source. Okay. So we have a latency with this connection, maybe because, yeah, the new experience, the new visual experience for the connectors with Power Query. So this is a feature that you can activate when you are using Power BI in the settings, in the option in settings. So now I have selected my file. I will click on next. And here I will have the data that I have ingested into Power Query. So once again, the column I want to connect to is this one that contains the feedbacks. So I will switch to Power Query by clicking on Transform Data. And here, the next step is to create what we call an empty query. So I will go to blank query. And here I'm going to use a specific code. So this is the code I will use to connect to my my service. So you see here that I have the API, I have the endpoint, I added them to the code. Of course, this is the M code that we will use to connect. The kind of connection is for sentiment analysis, and of course you can change this to language detection or named entity extraction. The language of the document here is in French, so the column is in French. I provide the API version, the relative path, which is also important to provide here in order to identify the service I'm connecting to, and the result will be obtained in a JSON file, and at the end I'm looking for the sentiment. So here, of course, I need to change the API and the endpoint. So I will go back to my service. I will copy this key one up. I will add it here, replace. So those credentials are not correct, okay? And don't worry, I'm going to delete the service. So even if you have connections. Okay, so here you have the endpoint up. Let's click on next and see the result. Good. So here we have the query, okay, that contains the logic of the connection to the Azure AI service or the Azure AI language, and also incorporates and contains the connection with the token and the endpoint. You can test something here. For example, let's say we want to test a sentiment. For example, so let's say la connexion est parfaite. The connection is perfect. And here I will call the service. They are asking for the credentials. I connect. And here you see that I have my my result. So this is a positive review. So if I go back to the query, I will add another or a different, let's say, feedback. Up. So here it should be a negative feedback. Now what we need to do is to add a column here to get those sentiments that we have in the feedback column. To do this, we will go to add column, invoke custom function here. So we are going to invoke this function we have just created. So of course the new column will be called sentiment, and we are going to use the query. So here of course you can create multiple queries, so depending on the type of applications you want to use, and I'm going to apply this on the feedback. So I need to select what would be the text input. So if I click on OK, information is required. Okay, so no problem for this. I will select organizational to be good in terms of privacy levels. And here I have up the sentiment. You see the new column that was added to the data. I will change the data type to text, and I will close and apply to add everything to the Power BI desktop. And of course, in this case, you may keep or you can transform this approach into a real-time approach, which means that every comment that you get from or that you have from a client, you can directly add it to this database, and you can have those you can have the sentiment associated with that. So to represent the sentiment, let's say we're going to use a pie chart, for example. In this pie chart, so the legend will be the sentiment, and the values will be associated with the ID client. And you see here that I have up 13% of neutral sentiments, 34 negative sentiments or negative reviews, and let's say 52% positive reviews. So this is how you can integrate this type of analysis. Of course, one kind of enhancement that you can do is also to identify the key topics or the key entities for each review. So for example, if we have a negative review, we can say, or we can extract which component or which element has gained that or is associated with the negative review. So for example, if I filter here on negative reviews, for example, let's say négative, le support technique était lent et peu efficace. So if we want to extract the key entity behind this, this should be support technique, okay? The technical support. So we have a problem with the technical support, and we need to investigate on this. Of course, this is by using a different query. This is by going back to your Power Query here and changing, let me show you in the advanced editor, changing the sentiment analysis that you have here, which is the type of application, by named entity recognition, for example. And you will get a new column that contains the different entities that can be extracted from the specific column. So that was the demo, and this is one of, let's say, the techniques where we can implement or we can add AI capabilities into our dashboards. So this is related to adding the AI services, but we have a lot of other applications related to natural language processing or to the use of images. And you can also have some visuals that consume AI models behind the scene. So for example, this one, which is the key influencers, this one, which is the decomposition tree, or the narrative visual. So those visuals are used or are using AI to add more capabilities to your visuals and your reports. Okay, so that was the demo. Thank you very much for following me on this demo. And I don't know if you have any questions. Of course, we can, or I can answer those questions. So let me get back here. Any questions related to what we have presented here for Power BI?
No, do you hear me, Simi?
Yes.
Do we need a specific license to, if you want to implement the same scenario or not?
A specific license you mean for Power BI or?
Yeah, can we do that
Yeah.
to the trial of
a pro
free
license?
licensing?
Yeah, a pro license, a free trial license is okay to do this connection, to do this capability. You also need to have a subscription on the Azure cloud. Okay, so this is also a prerequisite. And don't forget that by using this technique, you have API calls that that are sent to the service, which means that there is a cost behind. So you will have also the cost of those calls that you do or that you send to the service to get the feedbacks and to get the results from the model. But no specific licenses or subscriptions are required for this kind of application.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And for those who have used those capabilities in the previous version, so starting from September or October 2025, we used to have in Power Query, we used to have three, let's say, three buttons in Power Query, or a dedicated section to artificial intelligence. So don't be surprised that you can't see those sections anymore because they have been removed by Microsoft. So if you want to include AI services and connect your Power BI to the Azure AI services, you need to create or to use the M code and incorporate the API call directly to the M code in your Power Query. So this is the new approach proposed for 2026. Good. So I think we don't have further questions.
Okay. So thank you, Samuel Bensarim, for your great session. It is very, very important. Today, we can see that AI is everywhere in Azure, but also everywhere also in another cloud platform. So now, if you don't have any question, we can close this event. So we've reached the end of today's event. A big thank to you all, our speakers, Rodrigue, me, and also Samet, and also Salihu Jum, who joined us. For sharing your expertise and also your real-world experience. And thank you to everyone who joined us today and participated in the discussions. We hope these sessions gave you a valuable insight into Azure AI, AKS, and also data, fabrics, Power BI, and so on. So have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you again at future community event. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.